China has made a grave mistake, a very, very dangerous mistake. By not coming to the aid of Iran, China has made a deadly mistake. Let me explain why. Number one, by not coming to help Iran in this war, in this battle that Iran is involved in, which is actually suffering so much damage, China has exposed that alliance between Russia, China, Iran, and North Korea is actually not as strong as the world has feared. Because alliances win wars. If you look at Israel, without the backing and the help of the United States of America, Israel wouldn't be able to win all these wars that they are winning and even start these wars that they are starting. The fact that Israel has attacked Iran, they understood very well that they have United States behind them. In fact, they are fighting together because this war do not have boots on the ground, like military on the ground, because they're just using aeroplanes. It's just airstrikes. You never know. How do you prove the fact that the United States of America is not involved? Because it's just planes flying over and bombing. You don't know who is the pilot. Of course, the United States of America and its allies were worried about these alliances forming against them. Russia, China, and Iran and North Korea coming together to support each other, signing these agreements and signing these treaties. But this action by the Chinese of not showing up in a significant way to aid and help their partner and the ally in a conflict, it shows that alliance is weak. So the West now knows, and if they were hesitant to attack any of these countries because they were worried what the other country is going to do, whether the other country was going to be involved, now they know that China will probably do nothing, as they always do. So next time, if they want to attack any other country within this bracket, they will do so without hesitation, because now they know, now they have proof that China will do nothing but call for peace. Because look, China, if we are talking about the Chinese interest, yes, Iran has to be one of the biggest Chinese interests, because obviously China gets most of its oil from Iran. How is it possible that the Chinese are just sitting back and folding their hands? If they are helping, but they are not helping in a significant way to change the balance of power. Yes, the whole world was basing on the fact that Iran has China as a superpower behind her. So obviously, the Chinese will show up and help and aid in this battle and shift the balance of powers because they are a superpower. Second of all, by China keep on counting diplomacy and peace and stability, it's a good thing, it's a virtue, but in terms of military strategy, that is a weakness. It shows that you are scared of confronting battle. So whether it's coincidence or not, because we are here now, I'm sure the West, especially the United States of America, is observing very, very closely what the Chinese does, and by them keep on counting diplomacy, peace, without being involved. This might be read by the West as a sign of weakness because the Chinese are scared to be involved in a direct conflict. And the Chinese are going to pay for this because the United States of America now knows that nobody is going to come to the aid of China because they didn't show up for Iran. If there's a conflict in China, Iran is not going to show up. Russia is not scared of battle. Russians are willing to fight, and everybody knows, and the rest of the world knows. And that's why the United States of America will always handle Russia with care, because they know Russia is not scared of conflict. But in this case, in this scenario, it is engaged in a different front. So it is difficult for them to assist Iran. I'm sure even the Iranians will understand that. But for the Chinese to keep on counting for peace and negotiations and diplomacy, it is a sign of weakness. It is showing to the world that they are not as powerful and they are not as strong, because those who have the military power are not scared of using it. And number three, China is missing an opportunity here to better test their weapons. The West, especially the United States of America, whatever weapon that they create, or whatever weapon that they make, they are battle tested every single time. Their defense systems are tested all over the world. They are used in Israel, they are used in Ukraine. So they have feedback. They know and they understand where to improve. They test their weapons, know their weaknesses, if they actually work, and they go back to the lab and improve on those things. But the Chinese weapons are not being used anywhere else, so they are not battle tested. I remember there's a Russian drone manufacturer who was interviewed who said Chinese weapons are like toys. They don't make them durable and they are not tested. So, and the Chinese don't have the experience to test those weapons so that they can actually know if those things actually work. So that is not a good thing, because you might think you have stuff, but when you are attacked, you actually realize they are not as effective.
We all have access to the same components, and then each of us, depending on our understanding and experience, builds something from them. Now here's where China runs into trouble. They tend to make weapons that feel more like toys. The issue is, they just don't have real combat experience. So they don't fully understand what military equipment actually needs to be. Real military hardware has to survive being tossed out the back of a truck into the mud, sitting in the rain for a week, getting yanked out covered in grime, and it still has to power on and work perfectly. Chinese gear just doesn't hold up like that. Unfortunately, they haven't grasped that reality yet. It's a major weakness.
And so this was the chance for the Chinese to bring their defense systems to the aid of Iran, see if this stuff actually works, and bring those hypersonic missiles that they say they are fast, they can go around the world in minutes, and test them there and see if these things actually work. But more than anything, the global south needs to think this over and over again. Their enemy, the West, are not an enemy to play with. Those people are serious when it comes to military power. They will use it, and they are very, very powerful. And we can see it now. They are building even stronger and stronger. Their intelligence, their military, they have real alliances when it comes to intelligence sharing, when it comes to weapons, when it comes to coming to the aid of each other. But the global south doesn't have this, and this is being proved in real time now. And the West is reading this and learning this. We will never be able to neutralize the power and the hegemony of the West, because our alliances don't really mean anything. We can see it now that none of these superpowers that we thought are behind Iran are going to come to its help. None of them are really showing up, and Iran is suffering alone.